If you are a new user or considering to use the Trading 212 app, then this video might save you hundreds or thousands of pounds in potential mistakes that you can avoid. Because in this video, I will share with you the most common mistakes I see beginners make when they start using Trading 212. So if you are new to the investing world, then make sure you watch the video until the end to not miss out on any of the mistakes. Before we dive in, as always, this is not financial advice, and when you invest, your capital is at risk. So always do your own research before investing. The first mistake, and I cannot stress enough how extremely important this is, and that's not checking which account you're using before you invest, and as a result, potentially using the wrong account. You see, I've mentioned this point multiple times on this channel, and yet, believe me, it still astonishes me how many people out there don't know the difference between the two accounts that I'm going to show you and end up using the wrong one. And by the way, if you're a beginner, please don't feel bad about not knowing this sort of stuff. That's exactly what I'm here for, and I'm going to help you understand it point by point. So let's jump into Trading 212 and have a look at the app together. Now, here I am in the main interface. Let's say I want to buy one share of Nvidia, and let's just select one, then done, then review order, and here I am. Now if I click send buy order, it will basically buy that share for me. But the mistake that I did here is that I did not check the accounts that I'm investing in. And as a result, if I cancel this out, cancel everything, and then go back to the main menu, if I go to the top left corner up here and click on that, as you can see, the account that was selected by default in this case is the invest account. And as you can see, there are two types of accounts. You have an invest account and a stocks and shares ISA account. The interface for those two accounts looks pretty much the same. And for many people who don't know the difference between these two accounts, might just select one of them without giving it much thought. And if you didn't know this, a stocks and shares ISA is basically a tax efficient account that's available to us here in the UK, and you can invest up to £20,000 per year into an ISA, and any gains or dividends that you earn on those £20,000 is tax-free. On the other hand, the invest account that we were in by default is just a general account. In other words, if you invest into an invest account and you make gains beyond a certain threshold, you might be liable for capital gains tax. And as you might imagine, if your portfolio has been compounding over the years, then you might end up with a hefty tax bill if you don't choose the right account. And so all we have to do here to benefit from a tax efficient account is very simply click on the stocks and shares ISA here. And that will switch the account to the stocks and shares ISA. And now if you make any transactions or if you buy any stocks, it will be inside this account. Mistake number two is using a debit or credit card to deposit funds into Trading 212. Now, let me just show you what I mean on Trading 212. So here I am on the app. I'm going to click on that hamburger menu at the bottom, which is here, and then click on deposit funds. And now I have this screen, which is asking me to select a deposit method. And as you can see, there are multiple ways. So you can do it either via bank transfer or via Apple Pay or card. Now, the problem with using a card is that you will incur a 0.7% fee if you deposit more than £2,000. And in the investing world, the more you pay in fees, the less money you have to compound for you over time. And so an easier and a free way to deposit money into Trading 212 is to basically use an instant bank transfer, as you can see in here. And once you link your bank transfer to Trading 212, it will appear on the top right there. So as you can see, mine is appearing at the top there. So yours will look like that once you do it. And future deposits will become much easier. Mistake number three is not taking advantage of free shares. If you happen to be new to Trading 212 and you've opened an account within the last 10 days, or you are considering to open an account, then you have an opportunity to grab a free share. In other words, you can basically get free money. And who doesn't want that? There are two very simple ways you can do that. The first one is simply clicking on the link below this video in case you haven't opened an account yet and you're considering to do so. If you do decide to sign up through that link, then you will get a free fractional share worth up to £100. The other way you can claim a free share in case you already opened an account within the last 10 days and you've deposited a minimum of £1 is if you go to Trading 212 and when you're in this interface right here, just click on the hamburger menu and then just scroll down to this promo code section right here. And now in here, you can enter the code ISMAIL, ISMAIL. And if you do that, you'll be able to get a free fractional share. Mistake number four is not taking advantage of a feature called Auto Invest. Now, just to show you what Auto Invest is all about, let's go back to Trading 212. And if I go down to that pie icon down here, click on that, and I'll scroll down a little bit and then I want to click on new pie. So I'm just going to create something like a very quick pie. I can add some instruments to it, such as S&P 500. Let's do that and click next and then next again. Here, as you can see, I have two options. I can, for example, invest manually into this pie, or via auto invest. And as you might have guessed, auto invest allows you to invest into that pie without you having to manually do it yourself. So for example, if you're looking to invest daily or monthly into Trading 212, it might be easier to do it via auto invest. So that way, first of all, you don't forget. And second of all, you kind of eliminate the emotional side out of it. When you do it manually, you might leave it up to your mood to basically whether you want to invest on that day or not. When you put it on auto invest, however, you eliminate that factor. You are basically just telling a robot to execute a command on your behalf, and it will do it regardless of how you feel. And for many people, that can help a lot with staying consistent with investing. Mistake number 5 is not taking advantage of earning interest on uninvested cash inside a stocks and shares ISA. In case you didn't know, if you have some cash that's sat inside your stocks and shares ISA account right now and you're waiting to invest that cash, then while waiting, you can actually earn interest on that cash. And it's super simple to do that. So if I go back to Trading 212 and click on that hamburger menu again, right here, you can see there is this feature called interest on cash. So just click on that, and then here, scroll down all the way to the bottom, and at the very bottom, you should be able to see a button that says pay me interest. Mine says don't pay me interest because I already got mine turned on, but if you have not done this before, then yours will likely say pay me interest, and it will likely be a button in blue. So you just click on that, and now you can earn interest inside a stocks and shares ISA. Now, just to note something, if you have cash inside a stocks and shares ISA and you're earning interest on that cash, there's a very good chance that your cash will be placed in something called qualifying money market funds. And in case you haven't heard of this before, it's basically just low risk stuff such as treasury bills and commercial paper. Now, because it's a very low risk investment, aka it's still technically an investment, the Financial Services Compensation Scheme protection does not apply in this case as it would in a cash ISA, which is why you earn a slightly better interest rate on uninvested cash inside a stocks and shares ISA than you would for a cash ISA. By the way, if you're finding value in this video so far, can I ask you for a very small favor, which is clicking the subscribe button below this video. It's a small action that will help me make even more videos and more content for you. So thank you very much in advance. Mistake number 6 is obsessing over the news feed. Now, back to Trading 212, if I select a certain stock, let's for example pick Nvidia, which is at the top here, and I'll scroll down a little bit, and as you can see here, this is the news feed. If I click on see all, I'll basically see all the news that are related to Nvidia that might explain certain drops or certain rises in the stock price. And the problem with this is, if you are a beginner, this might end up scaring you to selling your investments at a bad time. As you might imagine, the news sometimes feature all sort of scary stuff that might not necessarily be as scary as it seems. And as a beginner, the most important thing to control at this stage is your emotions. So anything that triggers your emotions very quickly, it's best to stay away from. Mistake number 7, and this kind of breaks the same principle that I talked about in mistake number 6, is taking the community tab too seriously. Now, on Trading 212, there is a community feature. If I go to the app and click on this social tab down here, and then in here just switch to communities, and in here there are multiple communities. So there are some that are for individual stocks. So for example, if I click right here on Nvidia, and I can scroll down here, and as you can see, these are all posts regarding Nvidia by the members of the Trading 212 community. Now, the community tab is nice to have if you want to ask questions about how to navigate around the app. But once again, if you're a beginner, it's probably best if you don't immerse yourself in too many opinions from different people, because you're just going to get more confusion than clarity. And I see this time and time again where people ask questions that are not really meant to be asked on the community tab. There is a very good reason why the Financial Conduct Authority does not allow people like us content creators and people who might be experienced in investing and know more to give out direct advice and answer questions like this one on screen. When it comes to your hard-earned money, it's not really the best investing strategy to be asking strangers about which stock or which ETFs you should buy, which is why taking posts in the community tab too seriously is a mistake. Generally speaking, if you have some questions about the features of the app, so for example, you're trying to navigate around the app and find something and you can't find it, you can ask on the community tab from someone who might have used the app more than you have. They might know where that feature is. Otherwise, it's always best to do your own research and your own assessments when it comes to investing related questions. And by the way, if you are new to investing and you're still trying to figure out what this investing thing is like, then you can check out this video next, where I've actually done an experiment of investing £5 every day for 6 months. It's a great video for you if you're trying to figure out what to expect from investing and what it's like to invest consistently over an extended period of time. So if you're interested, then you can go ahead and click on that video right now. Otherwise, have a great day.